Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me loud, and I hope you can see the screen as well. Yeah, cool. So good morning, everyone, again, and thank you very much for joining this webinar on a Saturday morning. I really appreciate that. And we need to mention elearning.lk. They are the knowledge partner hosting this event for us. And if you guys are interested, you can actually go to elearning.lk website, and they conduct a lot of corporate trainings and sessions. And if you guys are interested, go to their website and surf, and you'll be able to find a lot of information there as well. So for those who don't know me, I'm Neranjan, and I work as the Chief Technology Officer for Just-in-Time Technologies. So today's session will be on digital transformation. I don't want to go into a lot of technical details, and so this will be suitable for all the technical and non-technical people in an equal way. So I just want to cover the basic concepts and ideas which are revolving around digital transformation. So we don't need to explore and dive into each and every technology area which are under digital transformation. So if you have any questions, just post them in the chat, and so I'll be more than happy to answer the questions while I'm doing the presentation, or maybe after this session we'll have a brief Q&A session to go through your questions as well. So there will be several videos in this presentation, and I'll post certain questions in the chat as well while I'm conducting the session, so you can actually go through the questions and see whether you understood certain concepts that I want to emphasize. So let's go ahead with this. I hope everyone is okay. So digital transformation is basically like a concept, actually. So most of the companies, organizations, government and private sector equally try to adopt a digital transformation right now. So the digital transformation basically has a few key objectives. The first and most important one is empowering your employees and also engaging your customers, optimizing your operations, and transforming your product. So all the institutes in the world, I mean, government institutes or private institutes, they have to provide some kind of service to their customers. It could be a product, or maybe it could be a service. So the objective of digital transformation should be to provide a better product or a better service to the end customer. So always it should be user-centric. So we have to look at the system from a user's perspective. I mean, like, whatever the changes that you make in your internal environment are not significant if you can't provide a better service or a better product to your end customers. And also, you need to focus on your employees, and you need to focus on your operations and process. So we'll try to look at these aspects separately while I'm going through the session. So these are the main key areas which are under digital transformation. So you have to keep in mind, technology is not the most important thing in digital transformation, because you can't even digital transform your organization by using minimal level of technologies. People think that you have to adapt all the new technologies, emerging technologies, latest trends, etc. in the world to go with digital transformation, but it is not. There are organizations in the world who have gone through a huge transformation process without even using these so-called emerging technologies. So that is, technology is not the most important thing in the digital transformation, and I hope you will get that idea by the end of this session. So let's try to go through different definitions of digital transformation. I mean, you can't exactly find one answer to this question. Different people define it in different ways. And we'll try to, and all these definitions have key takeaways that we can absorb. So we'll try to go through several definitions done by key institutes and key people in the industry. And let's try to understand what they are trying to say. So this definition is from George Westerman. He's a principal research scientist in MIT, renowned scientist. And what he says is that digital transformation actually involves technology, people, and process. So these three areas fundamentally change the business performance. And he says that there should be a radical rethinking within an organization to use technology, people, and process to fundamentally change business performance. So what can we take from this definition? Three main areas: people, process, and technology. So these three are very important, and you need to understand. So if you are involved in any kind of digital transformation process, or if you are providing any service to customer, right, and especially in the system integrator industry, you have to know how to incorporate these three into any of your strategies if you want to consult or advise someone else to transform their business. So people, process, and technology. And also I want to tell you that this recording will be shared with you after the presentation. So like, I'm not going to go through each and every point in all the slides, because actually when you are going through the, if you want to go through the recording later, so you can pause the recording and go through these things, because certain slides are very rich in content. So I don't want to explain everything in the slide, but I have just added them as a note that you can refer to if you actually want to go through it later. So second definition is from Red Hat, and I hope you have heard about Red Hat. So they basically develop operating systems and applications for mainly enterprise data center environments. And so what they say is that digital transformation is the integration of digital technology into various areas of business, and they need to deliver value to customers. And also, it's a cultural change. I mean, like, it's a dramatic cultural change that the organizations have to go through, because we need to challenge the status quo. We need to experiment. We need to get comfortable with failure. Right? We need to learn from our mistakes, and we need to readapt our strategies. So what they say is that there should be a significant cultural change within an organization to go through a digital transformation cycle. So what's the key thing that we need to get from this definition? Cultural transformation, right? So without cultural transformation, you can't achieve any kind of digital transformation, because people hate change, right? They don't want to change easily. So once you get used to something, it's very hard to change. I mean, personally or professionally, it's very hard. So if someone wants to change something, and when it comes to digital transformation, there are a lot of things within an organization that should be changed, from a process perspective, people perspective, technology perspective, content perspective, and like how you think, how you work. So like, it's a dramatic change. So if you don't do the cultural transformation within the organization, it will be really hard to provide a better service to the end customer. And that is the you need to break the ice. So that's very, very important, right? And within cultural transformation, there are a lot of areas. I mean, the human resource division has to play a significant role, and also the business leaders, the top management, and have to play a significant role, because without management endorsement, you can't do digital transformation, right? So all the people within an organization, I mean, lead business leaders as well as key stakeholders, they need to get together and develop strategies to transform the organizational culture, right? So if you are interested, dive into this, especially people who are involved in human resources and senior management positions. They need to understand how this can be done. And this is the third definition, and I hope you have heard about Salesforce. Most of the organizations use Salesforce for ERP and certain other functionalities. And Mark Benioff, who's the chairman and co-CEO of Salesforce, has this definition. What he says that all the digital transformation initiatives should begin and end with the customer. So end customer or the end user should be the main perspective according to his definition. And without focusing on the end customers, we can't actually define what we are going to deliver. Like if you take a certain Sri Lankan mostly government initiatives, you hear that they are going through digital transformation and do various things, and they actually do various things. But when you go to get something done, you don't feel any difference, right? That means the end customer is not getting served in a better way. And if the end user behavior or the end user requirements are not focused, then none of the digital transformation process will add value to the business. So what's the output that we can get from this definition? Customer focus. Okay, we have to continually improve the customer experience. So we have to improve the market response time. We have to improve the customer credibility, right? And we have to be accountable to customers. And there are a lot of things which revolve around customers. So that needs to be focused. So we learned 3 things under 3 definitions. The first one is that the digital transformation involves people, process, and technology. Then it involves a huge amount of cultural transformation within an organization. And the third one is all the digital transformation initiatives should be customer focused. So these are the 3 main ideas that you need to take away from these 3 separate definitions. Okay. Right. And one other thing that you need to know is that you hear these words interchangeably, but it's actually wrong. So we have 3 main words: digitization, digitalization, and digital transformation. So some people mistakenly use digitization and digitalization instead of digital transformation. But these are 3 separate ideas, and you need to understand that these are these 3 work together, and without one or the other, you can't achieve another. But these 3 are 3 separate concepts. So what is digitization? That means conversion of analog to digital. Let's see now. If you take an example that we all know, I mean, now in the previous, in earlier days, like we used to have these hard copies of birth certificates and marriage certificates or death certificates, right? So we had to go to a government office and fill the forms, I mean, like the paper-based forms, and we had to get the hard copies then and there. But now they have scanned those hard copies and they have created the digital version of that of those birth certificates, so maybe marriage certificates or death certificates. So that is basically converting the analog data, the hard copies that you have, printed versions, to electronic format. That is digitization. Like very simple. I mean, like if you have a Excel sheet printed and if you type those data into a computer, that is also converting analog data to digital data, right? So that is digitization. It could be the first step of other 2. Then digitalization. That means enhancing a certain process by converting analog data to digital data. Now you can apply for the birth certificate online without going to the office. You can actually apply for the birth certificate online. So that is enhancing a certain process, right? So that's digitalization. Okay, but what is digital transformation? Digital transformation is actually creating business value, right? And to achieve digital transformation, you need digitization and digitalization, but digital transformation is actually enhancing the complete process. Okay, but now even though you can apply for the birth certificate online, there are a lot of manual process involved in the back end. So that is not complete digital transformation. If you need, if you can completely automate that, if you can achieve an end-to-end workflow automation, then that would be digital transformation. That would actually create value, right? But still, even though we apply for the birth certificate online, there are a lot of manual work going on in the back end. So that is not true digital transformation. That is not an end-to-end process enhancement. Okay. So I hope you get the idea, and I hope you can now differentiate between these 3 words, because it's very important. So if you see someone mistakenly use a different word for digital transformation, I hope now you can correct them and tell them, okay, now, basically differentiate between these 3 words. Okay, right. Then let's try to understand some of the benefits, business benefits or user benefits in digital transformation. So what are we actually trying to achieve? We need to radically increase the customer engagements that a company has. So we need two main things for that: anticipating and predicting. So what is anticipating? I mean, we try to see, and we try to let's say understand what would happen in the future. So we have certain data with us right now, and if we have enough data, we can analyze them and anticipate what is going to happen in the future. Predicting is basically the same thing. So with a certain probability, you can say a certain event might happen, and if you can predict that with a certain probability, then you can proactively work to maybe if it's a risk, you can mitigate it, and if it's a positive thing, you can actually try to enhance it, right? So anyways, more customer engagement is the ultimate objective. Customer service, when we spoke about that. And third one, employee empowerment. So what is employee empowerment? So we actually assign responsibilities, or maybe job tasks to people, right, within a corporate environment. But with digital transformation, actually, you can enhance those capabilities. You can, I mean, people have the brains, right? So they do not need to get involved in a lot of manual work. Okay, so because their brains can be used to do something else. So that is the power of human being. But right now, in most of the organizations, people are doing a lot of manual work that can be done. I mean, I don't know, like that can be done by a, let's say, a robot, or maybe a bot, right? Or maybe a system which is capable of having AI, artificial intelligence. So people can focus on different things. I mean, they can think of process which can actually enhance the business, or maybe coming up with a new product, or maybe new ideas, innovating things. So we need to allow people to do that. And that can be done when people are free, right? So, and to make the people do more work, to empower the people with more responsibilities and tasks, we can use digital transformation, so we can get rid of all the manual work. And product enhancements, new products, we already spoke about that. Better collaboration between teams and individuals, or maybe different organizations, or maybe different countries. You can communicate, you can like share things, share content, and we saw that during the past 2-3 years after the COVID hit, how people suddenly started collaborating with each other without any notice, right? And actually, last 3 years, actually, it was a dramatic change. I mean, we all are now talking about this digital transformation and other concepts and technologies because of COVID. And like, I mean, even though COVID brought a lot of bad things, but one of the most important things it impacted on is digital transformation. And without that, we would be actually maybe 7-8 years behind. So better collaboration is one of the most important things. Cost savings, time savings, obvious things. And with digital transformation, there will be a lot of automations, and you can save a lot of cost and time. Market response time, fast delivery, and also efficiency and effectiveness. So you need to understand the difference between efficiency and effectiveness as well. So efficiency is actually doing something really fast. I mean, not exactly fast, but doing something with minimal resources maybe. And I mean, you need to let's say if it takes 5 minutes to do something right now, and if you can do it within maybe 1 or 2 minutes, then you have achieved certain level of efficiency. But what is effectiveness? Effectiveness is basically whether you are doing the right thing. Efficiency is whether you are doing the thing right. So that's the difference. So if you do a certain thing in the right way, then it will achieve efficiency. But effectiveness will only come if you do the right thing. I mean, basically, you can kill a person very efficiently, but it will not be effective, right? It is not the right thing to do. So that is the difference between efficiency and effectiveness, doing the thing right and doing the right thing. Okay. And operational optimization, obviously with digital transformation, there will be a lot of operations which can be optimized and enhanced. Then quality of a product or service. And I also spoke about market response time. Today's world is very dynamic, and there's huge competition between all the players in a particular industry. And if you can't respond to the market in a very lightning way, I mean, like very fast way, it will be very difficult to acquire customers and get businesses. So market response time is one of the key priorities in digital transformation as well. Productivity, I already spoke about that, so I'm not going to go into detail, but these are some of the benefits that digital transformation will bring you. Okay, let's try to go through some simple examples that we all know. Amazon. So Amazon actually is I mean, like basically people in United States can't live without Amazon right now. But if you Google and see how they started their business, it's very interesting. And Jeff Bezos, who's the owner of Amazon, actually predicted what would happen in the future, and they basically started their operations by selling books. But now they are selling, I mean, whatever you need to find, you can buy in Amazon, right? But do they produce anything? No. Do they have their own products? Maybe very few. But they are the largest online vendor in Sri Lanka, sorry, in the world. And so that's basically because of the vision of one person. And they knew how to completely digitally transform their business. And now they even deliver goods to customers through drones, right? That's where they are right now. They have autonomous vehicles, drones, and robots and everything. So that is complete digital transformation. A similar Sri Lankan version could be kapruka.com, but I mean like it's not exactly innovation, because those kind of systems were already there in the world, but those people were able to understand the Sri Lankan context, and they were able to adapt the global trends according to the needs of Sri Lankan people. And we should appreciate that, because a lot of people use kapruka.com right now. Netflix. I think we all try to Netflix and chill. And so basically, how did they start their business? They in early 2000s, they actually delivered DVDs to customers through post. I mean, they had a certain index of movies and other TV shows or maybe documentaries, and customers could actually request for that. I mean, like the request for that content through post, and Netflix would send them all the names of the movies and TV shows and documentaries that they have. Then the customers can actually request for a DVD through post, and it was basically a DVD rental shop, right? And there was no digital part involved. Then they actually thought about certain things differently, and they understood how the world was changing. And by using internet, now they are one of the biggest content providers and content creators in the world, and they are making huge revenue. And I mean, it's a pretty simple idea. I mean, you have TV shows and movies and all those things, and you host it in one place, and you actually deliver it to customers online. The simple idea, but how they did that was very dramatic and very interesting. Then Uber, largest taxi and rent-a-car service provider in the world, but they don't own anything. I mean, they don't own any vehicle. Right? But still, all the people, I mean, almost all the people around the world use Uber. Right? Airbnb, they don't have any hotel. They don't own any hotel or like motel or like resort or anything. But they came up with the very simple idea. People can actually list their homes or apartments or whatever they have in their site, and we can other people can easily go through the content, share ideas, communicate to the owners, and get a booking done, right? They are one of the biggest players in the hospitality industry right now, but actually due to COVID, they were kind of impacted, but still the ideas and how they started their business is very interesting. Air Asia. So we all know about Air Asia, but during the COVID time, they were impacted really badly. So what they started, I mean, they were in the mostly passenger, passenger services, but during the COVID time, they were impacted, and they came up with new business ideas. So they actually ventured into food distribution and commercial cargo distribution, and they completely re-innovated their business processes and technologies that they use, and they completely went through a business transformation. And now they are one of the biggest food distributors. I mean, food distributors in the sense like how do you call it? I mean, similar to a Food Panda in Malaysia and that region. So, and now they are one of the biggest players in that industry vertical. So their leaders were able to identify certain business opportunities, and in spite of failure, they ventured into a completely new area. And we have something called Ikman.lk, and I don't think people in Sri Lanka now use paper advertisements that much, because they actually started listing all the properties, vehicles, and goods and services and everything under Ikman.lk. So it's one of the good initiatives that I see. Right? Electronically, now you can browse through all the services, and if you want to buy something, I mean, most of the people like Ikman.lk would be a first choice for most of the people to go to if they want to buy a vehicle or maybe a property, right? That's a very good thing for the Sri Lankan people. And YouTube, the biggest content host in the world, but YouTube doesn't create anything, right? But they have all the content that people want. So, and they are coming up with new ideas daily as well. So their way of thinking was completely different, and they allowed people to upload content to their servers, and what they do is provide analytics to the users, so they can enhance their content and earn money. But they don't own any content. It's all user provided, right? Crowdsourced. Then eBay. And if you want to buy something, I mean, even in as Sri Lankans, we all go to eBay for auctioning, and you can sell your items, your used items, new items. People can do business, and eBay is a platform to do business, and Alibaba also. So these are the new ideas that change the world. I mean, these, except for the Sri Lankan brands here, all these others have actually changed how the world moves. The world is in a different direction because of these people. Facebook, we all know what Facebook did to our lives, and without Facebook, and definitely the world would be in a different state. The Mark Zuckerberg actually completely changed how the world was moving, and still they are actually controlling people and people's mindsets and attitudes and cultures and everything. And it's very scary as well. But the transformation that they did and the transformation that they are trying to do is very, very interesting. And another example would be e-channeling. I mean, right now, if you want to consult a doctor or make an appointment, we all go to e-channeling, and that's a new idea Sri Lankan people actually saw. And finally, metaverse. So metaverse is not only Facebook. I mean, people are talking about different kinds of metaverses, and we actually don't know whether there will be one metaverse or different metaverses talking to each other. So metaverse is basically a completely complete different thing. So it's a world similar to ours in virtual reality. Your entertainment, your relationships, your your work life, your trips, your traveling ideas, and your food habits, everything. I mean, like in the future, everything will be based on metaverse. I mean, you can create a version of you inside metaverse, so you can interact with anyone, anywhere, using that virtual reality platform. And Facebook is also trying to pioneer that, but different companies are trying to come up with different metaverses. But still, in the future, so it will dramatically change the world, and it happens because of digital transformation. Without digital transformation, without the strategies and visions, you can't do that. Right. The next thing I want to highlight is the differentiation between facts and myths under digital transformation. So I'm not going to explain each and every thing here. The most important thing is that when it comes to digital transformation, you have to basically use your brain, right? I mean, without using your brain, I mean, like, it's basically common sense. And if you have a good common sense, if you can use your brain, then you can differentiate between these facts and myths very easily. So maybe I'll try to quickly go through these things. First one is, some people think that every company should digital transform. That is totally wrong. If you are doing your business in a very efficient way, very effective way, and if you are serving your customers very well, and if your customers are completely satisfied, and if your business is blooming, then you do not need to think about digital transformation right now. So every company does not have to go through digital transformation. And people, when it comes to digital transformation, people get very excited, and they think that, oh my God, we all need to go through digital transformation right now. But it is not the case, right? You do not need to do that. Every company does not want digital transformation, and that is a complete myth. And if you are serving and consulting certain customers, don't try to talk to all the customers about digital transformation, because it's not relevant for certain organization, right? So you should understand the context. Then some people think that every company needs extreme digital transformation. That is also wrong. I mean, certain companies can survive without digital transformation, and certain companies can survive with a little digital transformation. So you have to understand. And when we talk about these strategies, you will get to know about this in a better way. But you can have maybe a lightweight version of digital transformation. And certain people think you need to leverage emerging or disruptive technologies. That is also wrong, right? You don't need to have all these high tech to achieve digital transformation. Maybe a very simple process enhancement using very simple IT systems might help you. Then some people think that you need a lot of budget for digital transformation. People get scared. Oh my God, we don't have money. We don't have enough resources. So that is totally wrong. There are very cost-effective ways to achieve digital transformation without spending a lot of money. And I'll select maybe random things. Certain people think that digital transformation isn't for small companies. That is also wrong. Even small companies can do digital transformation. Let's say there are certain people who sell things online. I mean, we don't even think that they can be sold online, right? But if you want to start a company, maybe digital transformation be the simplest way, because you don't need to have a physical office. You don't need to pay for, I think someone drew, okay. You don't need to pay for maybe utilities, right? So you can basically have an online company and achieve digital transformation, right? And also, some people think digital transformation might digital transformation might affect employees. And when it comes to digital transformation, people think, oh, I will lose my job, I will be jobless, I will have nothing to do, and this company is going to fire me. It's not the case, right? I mean, automation will reduce the HR aspect, human resource aspect in a company, but it doesn't mean that people will be fired, right? It will digital transformation, as I mentioned earlier as well, digital transformation will allow people to think more. come up with innovative ideas. They will give freedom for people to do what actually humans are supposed to be doing. Right? You don't need to sack people. That is not the case. So no one has to be afraid of digital transformation. No one is going to lose their jobs. Okay. I mean, definitely there will be cost cutting, but people can be used to other important aspects, right? Then some other things that I have not explained already, maybe going paperless is digital transformation. And I have been speaking to a lot of government departments and ministries and all, and they, when we try to ask what they want, they say that, okay, we need to go paperless. So the best thing is that, okay, get all your documents, scan them, and upload it to a server. You are basically paperless, right? But is it digital transformation? No. People think that going paperless is digital transformation, and that is completely a myth. That is not true at all. If you want to go paperless, then you can get a household scanner, maybe for 50,000 rupees, and scan all the documents and upload it to a server or a file server or maybe SharePoint. That is paperless, but that is not digital transformation. Then some people think that digital transformation won't take long. It is wrong. You can't do it overnight. You can't do it within a day or two. It will take a lot of time. It's an iterative process that you have to basically conduct for a long time, right? From the planning stage, execution stage, monitoring stage. So it will take a long time. You can't do it within maybe 1 or 2 days, or maybe a few weeks, or 1 or 2 months. Probably it will take at least maybe 1-2 years if you want to do a successful digital transformation. Probably at least 1-2 years, or maybe more than that. And some people think that digital transformation is all about IT. Completely wrong. All the departments and stakeholders within an organization need to be part of it. IT is only a fraction of that. Right? They only have a certain part to play, but there are others who have to play a major role in digital transformation. Okay, so like some people try to push digital transformation. I mean, digital transformation is also called DX and DT. So I'll use DX and DT without using the long version. So you can't just put DX into the IT department and wash your hands. It's not the right thing to do, and you can't do that as well. And one thing is that people think that if they update their website, maybe create an online platform, or maybe create a mobile app, then you are done with digital transformation. But it is wrong. So one thing I have to say is that during the COVID period, we all saw how big supermarket chains in Sri Lanka tried to deliver groceries online. So we could apply online, or maybe I can't remember whether we had a mobile app. We could apply online, and they delivered the groceries to your doorstep. But what were they doing in the back end? There were people going through the supermarket literally and trying to fill the carts. So is it actually digital transformation? No. You are creating a website or mobile app, but in the back end, you are doing all the work manually. You have to manually fill a cart and go through that. I mean, they get these orders printed, and they have that in their hands, and they manually cross-check them and try to fill all the carts. But is it actually digital transformation? No. In the back end, they are doing a lot of they actually increasing their manual labor. So that's wrong. So it is not digital transformation. Then certain people think that DX can wait. It can't wait. And if your company needs it, then you have to do it now. But if your company doesn't need it, then it's your business decision. Maybe you can thrive even without DX. But if you need it, then you can't postpone. It needs to be done now. Right. So I'll maybe post 3 questions in the chat. Just see whether you can answer them. Maybe 2 minutes max. Let me post it. Sorry for the alignment. That's not me. That's actually Zoom. So try whether you can answer these questions. You don't actually need to put the answers in the chat. You can just write them down. I just want to create some variety in the presentation. Okay, let's try to go through them. The first question is, what are the key components of digital transformation? And so actually we spoke about people, process, and technology from the first definition. Then from the second definition, we spoke about cultural transformation. And from the third definition, we spoke about being customer-centric, looking at the business from a customer perspective. So the right answer would be all of the above, because all these aspects are necessary for digital transformation. Then the second question is, what is a true statement about digital transformation? Just give me a second. Okay, the first answer is a company should adopt all the latest technologies to adopt digital transformation. That is wrong. You don't need all the latest technologies for digital transformation. Then second one is digital transformation is a long-term iterative process that involves experimenting and an agile approach. That is true, because as I mentioned, it will be a long-term process with a lot of experimentations and like learning, doing mistakes, and reiterating. I mean, coming up with the different iterations of the same cycle. That is true. The third one is building up a strong information technology team is sufficient for DX. That is wrong. A strong IT team will not result in a successful DX program. Fourth one, digitization and digital transformation are the same things. That is also wrong. We actually differentiated between digitization, digitalization, and digital transformation. So the correct answer would be B. Third question, DX will result in below, except better customer service and engagement. Definitely, DX will bring better customer service and engagement. DX will bring better market response. So the second one is right. Second one is also right. And third one, new product development. That is also right. DX will definitely bring new product development. And fourth one, increased operational cost. That is wrong. DX will not result in increased operational cost. Actually, DX will reduce the operational cost in a dramatic way. So the right answer is D, because it is the wrong answer. It is the wrong concept here. Okay, cool. Let's try to. I just wanted to refresh your minds up to this point, and these questions carry the key ideas that you need to take away home once this presentation is done. Okay, let's go through.
Successful organizations embrace digital technologies because they know this generates greater value for customers and provides an.
The video is audible through Zoom to you, right? If not, just send a message.
Environment for employees to thrive, which equals higher profits for the business. Digital transformation is the single most important opportunity that enables organizations to leverage technologies across all aspects of the business. Done properly, businesses reap the benefits of more informed decision-making, improved processes, and better communication, all resulting in an exceptional client experience and improved bottom line. When done ad hoc, businesses risk employees becoming less productive, processes breaking down, and clients getting frustrated, potentially leading to customers and employees looking toward the competition. In the past, savvy executives looked for new growth opportunities, then implemented technologies such as a CRM to boost sales, line of business applications to get more visibility into the business, or team collaboration tools to improve internal communication. However, these initiatives did not always go as anticipated. Some failed entirely, others delivered less than desired results, and many just went way over budget. The reason failure has been so common is twofold. First, internal IT personnel and outsourced IT providers do not understand the business and tend to focus solely on the technology. Then, they do not provide a systematic approach for executives to uncover opportunities, plan initiatives, and successfully execute projects. Keeping up with change and staying ahead of the curve requires businesses to employ a systematic approach to ensure digital transformation initiatives are well planned, flawlessly executed, and rapidly adopted across the organization. Digital Maturity Group's mission is to make digital transformation simple. It provides a simple framework, tools, guidance.
Okay, go to the next one. It's also
We
a very
explain
brief video.
the business world of tomorrow. This is Emma. Personally, she's well connected in the digital world. Her smartphone guarantees her constant web access and keeps her in touch with her friends. She uses dozens of handy apps to take care of everything when she's on the go, and there are thousands of new possibilities appearing every day. But why is Emma's company any different? True, she did introduce some technological tools to simplify administrative tasks, but that was many years ago, and IT has come a long way since. By now, those systems are practically ancient. When she tries to retrieve data, it can take ages. And communication with partners or customers is very roundabout. No one is ever quite on the same page. Enough is enough. It's high time for a digital transformation in the business world. Otherwise, Emma and many other companies might fall behind in the market, as small startups and even suppliers and manufacturers become serious competitors. In the internet age, the value chain has been completely reorganized. Consumers and producers are now in direct contact. That's why Emma's company, its corporate IT systems, and all of its communications are overdue for an urgent upgrade. The internet links everyone in a global network. Emma can now identify the best partner companies quickly and collaborate with them seamlessly. The data flows over broadband technology and can be accessed anywhere. This lets Emma's company seize groundbreaking opportunities. She can implement interfaces to reach customers through brand new channels that target them directly. Plus, customized product extensions lead to fresh business models that are just as versatile as today's mobile society. In the digital world, IT is not only a tool anymore, it's the central seed for every company's growth. Emma is ready to go full speed ahead into the digital transformation. In her race against her competitors, that's how she'll gain ground and impress her customers.
Okay, right. Okay, let's quickly try to understand the strategies behind digital transformation. So I'll maybe try to go through these things quickly. I'll highlight on the important ones. Maybe when you are going through and if you are going through the recording, you can just pause and go through the actual content on the slide. So this is one of the third-party reports I wanted to highlight. So there are two kinds of leaders in the world. The first one is DX leaders, and the second one is DX laggards. So DX leaders actually lead the digital transformation processes and digital transformation initiatives within their organizations. And I'm sorry if the graph is not that clear, because I had to get this from internet. And from these statistics, you can understand that digital transformation, DX leaders actually prioritize projects that will enable new business models or maybe new revenue streams, right? And also they focus on maintaining projects that can leverage. So if you where's my laser pointer? Is it here? Sorry, I can't get my laser pointer. And if you see in the second bar, you can see that they what kind of projects that they prioritize. And if you go through the third bar, you can see what kind of focus that they have on leveraging existing technologies and still deliver intended outcomes. I mean, you don't have to have emerging technologies. You can leverage existing technologies, and you can actually conceptualize and visualize how you can create value by using the resources that you have right now. Okay. And also the thinking patterns of DX leaders and DX laggards are completely different. So go through these statistics and ideas in this slide later, and you will be able to differentiate between these two kinds of people. And you might be able to see as you might be able to think as a digital leader. You might be able to initiate certain things, maybe within your department, or maybe within your team, or maybe help a customer, right? So DX leaders and DX laggards those are two completely different groups within our own organizational environments. And also, if you see these statistics, so after the pandemic, I mean, in the post-pandemic world, there are certain priorities to organizations, right? There are, these people have identified, you can see the source from here. And these people have identified 8 different business priorities in the post-pandemic world. The first and most important one is resilience. So during the COVID period, the organizations which were not resilient to the drastic change, they actually perished. I mean, like they were not able to survive. And so resilience is one of the most important things. And people are moving towards automation. And by 2025, there will be a lot of processes automated. And if you can't achieve automation, you will not be able to survive in your respective organizations, or maybe respective industries. So 44% of the respondents for this particular survey has said that they need to achieve a certain level of automation within the next few years. And without that, you cannot survive. So you can understand the importance of digital transformation in the modern world. And you need to have human-centric management, purpose-driven management, and also data-driven management. I mean, you can't just get a decision without data right now. You need to have dashboards, you need to have data analytics, you need to have business intelligence. There are a lot of tools that you can use. So the leaders need to be savvy about these tools that they can use. And without that understanding about the data and the analytics, you cannot take decisions. And for that, you need to have automation and new business models and ecosystems created within your organization. And also, this is another stat from IDC. IDC, I hope some of you may already know. It's a world-leading, let's say, a research company, or maybe they actually do evaluate certain products or solutions and technologies and global trends in the world. And they have come up with the graph. In the x-axis, you can see the prediction timing. I mean, basically the years that we have. And in the y-axis, you can see the cost or complexity of a certain initiative. And as you can see right now, so we are now in 2022. So people are trying to go ahead with digital first approaches, right? That's the thing that most people are currently doing. But when we are going towards the future, so ultimate thing that will happen is digital complete DX platforms, or complete ecosystems that are interconnected with each other. And when you are trying to move from the current year to maybe, let's say, another 4 or 5 years into the future, maybe 2025, 2026, so you can see how these things are changing, right? And to come to a position where there is a complete DX platform or complete DX ecosystem, there are certain things that you need to follow. I mean, business innovation. We spoke about cultural transformation, management rethinking, organizational restructuring, developing roadmaps, right? Maybe putting some investments into our environment, right? Experimenting, coming up with strategies and visions. So these things you have to do. But anyways, all these three reports are, what all these three reports are saying is that without digital transformation, you cannot survive, right? And what are we going to do to achieve digital transformation? So there should be a strategy. And to develop a strategy, there are three main important things: diagnosis, a guiding policy, and coherent action. First, you have to do a diagnosis of your environment, maybe your customer environment, maybe your partner environment. So you have to have a full 360-degree visibility into all the aspects which are surrounding your organization. Then you need to develop a policy which is endorsed by the top leaders and managers of the company. Without the guiding policy, you cannot achieve anything, right? The vision, the strategy, the mission, and everything will be based on this guiding policy. So you diagnose, then you create the guiding policy, then you put that into action, coherent action. So that policy should be, let's say, delegated to each and every department or team within the company from top to bottom. Then all the teams have to work together in a coherent way to achieve the final objective. So this is called the strategy kernel: diagnosis, guiding policy, and coherent action. I mean, not only for digital transformation, this is relevant for anything within an organization, maybe finance, HR, IT, maybe procurement, sales, I don't know. For everything, this is applicable. And for digital transformation as well, this should be there. So there are different ways we can look into creating a DX strategy. So I'll maybe go through few different things. So you can use either one of them. There's no right way. There's no wrong way, right? The strategy should be developed according to your organizational context. So something that others might be doing may be wrong for you. So you have to identify what is right for you. But I'll just try to emphasize on key ideas behind a successful strategy. Okay. So this strategy has actually 7 steps. The first one is aligning on the why, right? You first have to define the business value that you are going to bring into your organization through digital transformation. As I mentioned earlier, certain organizations might not need digital transformation at all. So if that's the case, you don't need to hurry. You don't need to get excited and overwhelmed and try to get digital transformation within to your environment. So you have to understand what value are you going to bring. So what is basically value? It is actually enhancing your service or product or profit. So if it's a government organization or a non-profit organization, maybe you don't need to come up with profits, but still you need to enhance the product or service that you are going to deliver to the end user. So if digital transformation doesn't bring any value, then please don't do it. Please don't do it. Then prepare for culture change. As I mentioned earlier, right after defining the strategy and the value, you need to do a drastic cultural change, because without change in humans, then you can't achieve anything, right? Humans are the heart of digital transformation, as this also says. So without them, nothing can be done. Then you can take baby steps. You don't have to implement the complete strategy at once. You can phase it out. You can break the complete strategy into very small steps. You can start small, but it should be a continuous process, right? So from one step to the other step, all should be interlinked and it should be continuous, right? Then fourth one, map out technology. So you see now people don't start with technology. Technology comes in the midway. So in here, it's the fourth step, right? So after you develop the strategy and phase it out and create all the policies and all, then you map the technologies. Then you see how you are going to do a certain thing. You don't start with technology. You start with how you are going to create value, and then you try to understand what technologies would help them, right? Technology is not the most important thing. Then maybe you have the technology, maybe you don't have. If you don't have, then maybe you seek for other partners. Maybe you need external consultancy. Maybe you don't have the expertise or knowledge to go through a DX process right now. Maybe it's time for you to get help from others who know the subject in a better way. So seek out partners and seek out expertise. Then while you are going through the process, you need to gather feedback from each from each step of the process. Then you need to have multiple iterations within the cycle. You have to identify your mistakes and you have to see where you went wrong, and you have to redefine your execution plan. Then after that, at the final stage, you need to scale it up, and you need to find new ways of improving, and you need to actually go through this cycle again and again until the time that you reach your end objective. Until you are fully satisfied that your customer is very well served, you have to go through this cycle. Okay? So this is actually one approach. So this is another approach. So here also we have a vision. So we have a plan, a vision, and an action. But the wording is a bit different. Okay. So here what we do is we build the hypothesis. Okay. I mean, like we come up with a certain idea and we develop a hypothesis. That means a concept. You try to conceptualize. Then you experiment. Right? Experiment means I mean you put it into, maybe you select a small customer segment or maybe a niche market or something, and you try with an experiment. Okay. Then you evaluate. You measure the success or failure of that experiment. Right. Then you learn from the mistakes. You adjust. Then you restart. Right. The main idea that you need to get from this is experimenting, and you did not see experimenting here, because this is a different way of approaching for digital transformation. But certain maybe startups, especially, they don't want to go through this process. Right? If it's a startup, they might like to do some experiments. Right? They might want to go through iterative, incremental steps. Right? So this is a different approach. So based on your organization, you can take a longer route, or maybe you can go through the this experimental route as well. Okay, and this is another different thing. I mean, this actually tries to map people, process, technologies, and content that we spoke about earlier into a different vision, right? So for any digital transformation process, you need to do a gap analysis. Okay. You need to, as I mentioned earlier, you should understand where you are right now. Your people. People means your internal employees, your partners, your distributors, your investors, your customers, and let's say the principals you are working with. So, and everyone, every human being which are connected to that organization come under people. Then processes. What are the processes? Every business process that you have. Maybe sign in a document, send in an email, simple things like that. Right? Maybe fill in a form, and like the procurements, the distributions that you have, product developments, and how you conduct meetings, maybe. So all these things, how you communicate with people, collaborate with people, all these things come under process. Right? Then technology, the IT systems that you have, or the manufacturing systems that you have right now. Okay, so all these aspects come under technology. And content. Content means the data that you have, maybe customer data, maybe partner data, market data, right? So whatever the ones and zeros means bits and bytes that you have. Any kind of data come under content. So you need to analyze the people, process, technology, and content that you have right now. Then you need to understand where those four aspects need to be in the future, right? Then you identify the gaps, systematic gaps that you have. Then you try to bridge these gaps. So that's another approach, another strategy approach that you can take when it comes to DX. Okay, I'm not going to go through this slide. I just put it here for you to get an understanding. So this actually drills down into a lot of things under people, process, and technology. So when you go through this slide, you will be able to know what comes under people, what comes under process, and what comes under technology. Maybe if you want, you can go through the recording and go through the points that I have mentioned here. Most of the things I have already covered, actually. And this is another important thing, understanding the context. So under context, you get things like what, why, who, when, where, most of the things that start with W. But so by asking these questions, you can understand the context. Okay. The first one, what do we want to achieve? I mean, what is the business value that we want to achieve? What knowledge do we need? Right? Everything that starts with what you need to ask at the initial stage, and that will give you an understanding about where you want to go. Then why you are doing something? What is the need of that? And who are going to help you to achieve that? Right? So by asking these questions, I mean, if you are serving a customer, if you are consulting a customer, maybe you can help the customer to ask these questions from themselves. And that will give them an understanding about where they are right now and what they need to do and who they need to get involved in that process. Okay. So this is a different approach to creating a strategy for DX. Maybe you can go through the questions here later. I'll just skip this to save some time. And also there are a lot of strategy steps that you can take into account when it comes to DX. These things I have already explained, but I'll try to emphasize on few things I have not explained yet. One thing is that having goals, KPIs, and controls. So whatever the strategy you have, you need to evaluate it continuously, and you need to set timelines, goals, and key performance indicators and controls. And these key performance indicators will tell you where you are at a given point of time, and they will define the success or failure rate of that DX strategy or DX action plan. And you can create a dashboard or something while you are going through the action plan, and that will give you an indication of the risks and areas where you are having drawbacks. And also it will give you what kind of it will give you an idea of what kind of controls you need to apply to correct those things and to get things back into track. Okay. And also you need to have both long-term and intermediate goals. I told you that digital transformation will take at least maybe 1, 2, maybe more than 2, 3 years. But if you only have long-term goals, then long-term goals, then that will actually demotivate people. So human beings are involved in these processes, and if they can't see a success within a given period of time, they will be demotivated for sure. So you need to have long-term goals, but to motivate people, to get them encouraged and to get things running, you need to have intermediate goals which can actually help you, right? And these go. I mean, once you achieve a goal, you should celebrate, and there should be several celebration points in the complete life cycle. Then most of the other things I think I have already explained, but if you need to know one specific thing extensively, just put that into the chat, or maybe you can go through this later. Right. So I just put this slide here just to emphasize on the technologies that we have under digital transformation, and I don't need to explain this. So this is very overwhelming. I mean, there are countless technologies which are under digital transformation. And if you try to dive into all these areas, and if you are not a technical person, you will be easily overwhelmed, and you will start to hate digital transformation. But these technologies come like come very late in the DX process, and there are, as I explained, there are a lot of other things that you need to do before coming here. Versatility and the spread of choices that you have, and you are not limited to one thing. There are multiple choices, and if you want to get something done, there are like cheap technologies, expensive technologies, and different ways of doing something. And if you want to go through a DX process, please don't just listen to one person, and get an idea about all the options that are there. And if you are consulting another person, you have to have an idea about all these things, because certain customers might not want to go for expensive one, and they might not want to go for emerging technologies. They might want to go with some legacy technologies, right? And still, by using existing technologies, they can go with the DX process. So the idea is that there are multiple options, multiple technologies, and the spread is very large. You don't need to limit yourselves into one or two things, right? Right. To like highlight few things in the DX technologies, maybe cloud computing. We all know about cloud computing. I mean, sometimes people don't understand the concept behind cloud computing, but we all know about laptops and PCs that we have, or maybe some servers in the data center. So cloud computing is nothing other than having a server somewhere else. Okay. Now people do not keep data centers or servers in their organizations. They just get the services of a third party. So every cloud service or every compute service or maybe storage service or whatever the application that we use here have to be hosted somewhere in a physical server. So vendors like AWS or maybe Azure or Google or VMware, they have their own data centers, and they host services, and they provide they host large computing resources, and they provide services to end customers. So people get a cost-effective, cheaper way to get things done. Basically, latest technologies can be provided to customers at a lesser cost. So that's basically cloud computing. Mobile phones. Now, for everything, we have a mobile app, right? So people, like most of the people don't even use laptops these days. They just use mobile phones or maybe a tab or something like that. And so mobile phones are, now mobile phones are very powerful. They have a lot of computing resources, and they have a lot of capabilities. You can do all your office work and personal things using a mobile phone, unless you don't want a bigger screen, right? Unless you want a bigger screen. And so applications that we have in the mobile phones, and the amount of data available, and the connectivity around the globe, and 5G technology is also coming up. And with 5G, there will be a dramatic change with how we do things. And so that's one of the key aspects which pave the path for digital transformation. IoT platforms. That means smart equipment that you use in your houses, AC machines, maybe TVs or fridges or CCTVs, or your maybe vehicles, or let's say, I don't know, any smart device that you use, or maybe for agriculture or for medical purposes, for implants that you actually have within your human bodies. So these are all smart devices. And for digital transformation, these play a huge role. In social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, the metaverse is also coming up, and we share content, we share information, we see into other people's lives, we get marketing info, we search things, and we don't even know how we get certain advertisements anymore. And you chat with a friend. Let's say you chat with a friend about a watch or a perfume in WhatsApp, and suddenly you get a advertisement in Facebook regarding the perfume options, or maybe the wristwatch options, and visit, let's say you visit a mall and you go to a few different, like let's say, fashion stores, and you suddenly get advertisements in Facebook and in Google about new clothes, new trends, new fashion trends in the world. So that's the granular level people are being tracked. But they actually allow marketeers and organizations to sell products and services to customers because we can get customer data, we can analyze customer data. We know, I mean, like, from an individual level even, we know. We can actually know how a certain, like, what a certain person likes for an individual person as well, right? So that's how we can drill into other people's lives. But it has both like positive sides and negative sides. But still, people can sell their products and services by leveraging those analytical data. GPS, we already know how we can track people, and how it allows to deliver certain things, maybe not exactly track, but if you want to deliver something through a drone, if you want to deliver a product using an autonomous vehicle, or maybe if there's a person who needs medical help, and if we can track the location, we can right away send the medical, let's say, I mean, like, even if it's a place where people can't reach, but if we know the location, then we can use a unmanned vehicle to send medical assistance, right? So these are the advancements that we currently have. Then human-computer interaction. Now, if you know Elon Musk, he's trying to actually develop a solution to connect the brain with your mobile device, right? So what you think will be transferred to your mobile device. So these are like concepts we can't like even grasp right now, how you are going to talk to your mobile phone through a certain technology. What you think your phone might be able to do. So these are the advanced human computer interactions. Then data collection, we collect data, then we analyze them using big data and advanced analytical platforms. Also, artificial intelligence and machine learning comes into play as well. So artificial intelligence will actually help people to augment their intelligence. So we need to see how AI can help to achieve IA. So AI is artificial intelligence, and IA is intelligence augmentation. So artificially intelligent tools will help people to enhance their cognitive skills, enhance how they think, and that is intelligence augmentation. We go to a higher level, right? And also we have augmented reality and virtual reality as well. So augmented realities, and if you remember a very simple example in the Sri Lankan context, and when the past president Gotabaya Rajapaksa, actually, when he was doing the election campaign, he actually used augmented reality. I don't know whether you remember, like there was this newspaper advertisement, and once you scan it with your mobile phone, and you could actually see an augmented version of the existing advertisement. I can't exactly remember what it was. I think it was a city plan or something. But it was augmented reality. You take your phone, and when you go to a supermarket or maybe a movie theater, or even when you walk in the road, you can scan the environment with your phone, and it will give you an enhanced or augmented version of the existing reality. A lot of information can be displayed, and metaverse is also based on that. And virtual reality will also play a significant part. Then some other things like robotics, or maybe robotic process automation, bots. Robotic process automation is actually using bots, or maybe let's say artificial intelligence to enhance the process of an organization. So it's a new way of doing things. And even in Sri Lanka, I'm happy to see that a lot of organizations are currently using RPA, robotic process automation, and also workflow automation. How you can automate the workflow of an organization. Okay. So those are some of the basic things. I don't need to deep dive into this. But from a structural perspective, this is actually the traditional structure. So under the CEO, we have different functions: sales, finance, marketing, HR, IT, maybe risk, and other functions. So this is the traditional function. So with this function also, you can achieve digital transformation. All these individual verticals have to get together to support the ultimate objective. But right now, there's a new function called Chief Digital Officer in most of the organizations to support this digital transformation process. So here you can see the traditional functions in the in blue color, but under Chief Digital Officer, there will be different functionalities. There will be a digital COE. COE is actually the center of excellence. That means to achieve digital transformation, you need to have a centralized entity which can manage manage all the departments. Not exactly manage, I mean to communicate with all departments and coordinate with all the departments, right? A digital center of excellence. And we need to have OCM. OCM is Organizational Change Management. So I spoke about cultural transformation and change, which are crucial for digital transformation. And while you are having a digital center of excellence and while you are appointing a chief digital officer, you need to look into organizational change management as well, because the cultural transformation is a must. Okay, and from an external point of view, we need to have customer experience management, because we are focusing on our customers, right? So we need to manage them, and we need to manage their expectations, and we need to bring value to our customers. So customer experience management will be another entity working with customer front-ending entities, maybe sales or support or R&D. So they are the entities in an organization which directly deal with the customer, right? So they customer experience management will work with those divisions. And one of the most important things for digital transformation is communication, communication, and communication. Most of the digital transformation processes go wrong because you don't properly communicate with other departments, or maybe let's say other entities in the organization, right? One person says one thing and the other person will not understand it. So without communication, you will not be able to achieve any kind of digital transformation, and you need to find ways to properly communicate something, properly document it, and you have to make sure whether the message actually went properly across to the other person. So this is one of the most important things under digital transformation. And I'll go quickly to save time. Skills required for digital transformation. Technical skills, you should have technical skills, but it is not the only thing. You need to get people who are very creative, people who can think out of the box. We actually call that design thinking. So design thinking is basically, I mean, not everyone has that. So you need to think in a different way to achieve something. The design thinking is very, very important. And communication, emotional intelligence, flexibility, how you can think about something very critically with a very analytical mindset, and we call it data-driven mindset as well. I mean, to get into a decision, you need to analyze something, right? You need to analyze data, right? So those things should be there, and these skills are required to achieve DX. I mean, you need to have a team. I mean, not every person will have all these things. It's impossible, right? So you need to leverage skill set of different people. The leaders should create a single team which has all these capabilities. So it's up to the leader to choose the skills that they want, and to create a team which can create a good DX strategy. Okay, then we have another quiz. So I'll try to finish the session maybe within another 15 minutes max. see whether you can actually answer these questions. Right. Let's quickly go through these things. A digital transformation strategy should include below except. Okay, the first one. A digital transformation strategy should include people, process, and technology and content focus. So we spoke about that. That should be there. And a vision with a plan and action. Yes, that is true. You need to have a vision and a plan and an action. Then third one, diagnosis with the guiding policy. Extremely critical. You need to analyze where you are and where you want to go, and you need to bridge the gap with the guiding policy. The fourth one, a short-term plan developed by the CIO and CEO. No, that is not right, because we don't need a short-term plan. It will be a long-term plan with intermediate goals, and it should not be developed by the CIO or the CEO only. Okay, and that is not how it should be done. Okay, I'm sorry, I think the second question is not relevant because I actually removed that slide from the presentation. I'm sorry for that. And what is not a new function of a digital transforming organization? Okay, Chief Digital Officer. Yes, we spoke about that. CDO. That is a new function in the DX context. Then Digital COE, Digital Center of Excellence. Yes, we need that function in organizations. Then Digital Operation Center. No, there was nothing like that. It's wrong. There's nothing called Digital Operation Center. Then D, Organizational Change Management, OCM. Yes, that was actually a new function in a digital transforming organization. We need the Chief Digital Officer. We need Organizational Change Management, OCM. Then we need Digital Center of Excellence, DCE, and also we need Customer Experience Management. So those are the things that we need in the new structure.
The debate over digital transformation is almost...
So I'll play maybe another one video.
Debate over digital transformation is almost as old as digital transformation itself. Is it the key to success? Is it destined for failure? We've seen the headlines. Now we've seen the truth. This isn't what failure looks like. Neither is that. When hundreds of millions start working from home with virtually no time to prepare, that's not failure either. This year brought us unimaginable hardship. But it's also revealing our unimaginable strength. Because in spite of a changing world, students keep learning. People keep making the goods we need to live, and colleagues are still there for each other. We've settled the debate once and for all. Digital transformation isn't failing. We just needed to prove it to ourselves. And to be future ready, the question is now, how will we transform our tomorrow?
Okay, actually this video spoke about how we survived during the new normal. So some of the lessons that we learned in the new normal is that a digital front end is no longer enough, right? A web application or maybe a website or a mobile application will not be enough. You need to have a complete process from end to end to serve your customers. And slow and steady no longer wins the race. Okay, and so the environmental change was drastic, and people who could not respond that in a fast, let's say in a very fast way, could not survive. So we have now have to forget the story about like the story about this rabbit and tortoise that we heard when we were kids, and slow and steady will no longer win the race. You have to be very, very dynamic, and you have to take decisions really fast. And change management is not an excuse. So you need to manage the change within your organizations. Without change, you cannot survive. You have to break the ice. Work, we don't, I mean, like a single office will not symbolize work anymore. So it's a complete remote working environment. I mean, multiple people within the globe can work together. I mean, truly, you don't even need to have a physical office right now. And a lot of startups, they don't even have a physical office. They just work from home, or maybe a cafe or a coffee shop or something, but still the work is getting done. Automation is not optional. You need to have automation. Without automation, you cannot survive. And business leaders don't always lead change, right? You can start change within your department, or maybe within your vertical. So you don't have to be a high-level leader to start change. You can start small. And sometimes leaders might even just might not even know about what needs to be done. So you can advise them, you can consult them if you are a change initiator, right? And other one is you need Renaissance people, not just niche specialists. Like you need to start things in a fresh way, right? It is a complete renaissance. So you need people who can initiate that. And last one, and last but not least, digital transformation matters for knowledge workers and not frontline workers. That is also wrong for frontline workers also. I mean, like people who deliver goods, people, I mean, like people who clean things, for laborers, right? And for any worker, digital transformation actually matters. So because like we can enhance their efficiency and effectiveness. It's not only for people who work inside offices. It's not only for people work with the data or knowledge. It's equally important for frontline workers as well. So because we can increase a lot of things, and maybe healthcare professionals who work in the front line, maybe police officers, maybe triforces, right? So we can improve their lives as well. And finally, big organizations can actually learn from smaller ones, because when you are getting bigger and bigger, the change management becomes hard, and you can't exactly get something into the full operational effectiveness. But so they can learn from small companies how things are done, right? So these are some of the lessons that we could learn in the new normal area. So we are running behind time. So to save time, I'll maybe go through these things very, very quickly. Some of the drastic changes that we saw in the past, in the pandemic era. Healthcare, we saw virtual fitness, and we saw virtual gyms, and people could get together and work, I mean, like do exercises, or maybe run through therapy programs, or maybe get telemedicine, consult doctors, maybe order certain things online. And even, I mean, like mental, psychological help, physical help, senior care, all these things we saw dramatically changing using things like virtual reality, or maybe advanced collaboration platforms. And using data as well. So these things actually came into place during the past 2 years. Then work. I mean, like, I don't have to go through that. We all know how we collaborate right now using advanced tools to get things done. And education, remote learning technologies, online courses, content, online classes, and online complete. I mean, like complete platforms similar to actual physical schools, and are there right now in your mobile phone. I mean, like, it's very, very interesting. I mean, you don't. I mean, like, even you are even there's a student in a remote school who doesn't have facilities or maybe money to buy books or go to a school or use a library or something, but still they can use through the mobile and mobile application. So that's very interesting. And things like 3D printing came into play, and now you can get anything done. Maybe like actual human organs can be 3D printed. So it's very interesting, and so I'm not going to go through everything, but finance, maybe something like neo-banking, decentralized banking, cryptocurrency, virtual wallets, contactless payments, and branchless banking. We all saw these things. And even in Sri Lanka, people, during the past 2 years, there was a dramatic change in the number of people who actually got online facility in rural areas. Right, most of them now have remote facility, and it happened because of COVID, right? Then if we things like the customer service, artificial intelligence, chatbots, cloud call centers, decentralized call centers, conversational AI, where you can actually chat with the bot, or maybe a virtual entity. I mean, like you feel exactly like you are chatting with the person. You can't even differentiate. So those things actually came into play during the pandemic period. Then entertainment, virtual reality, virtual events, virtual gaming, virtual traveling, and virtual art galleries, museums, online dating even. I mean, people could not meet their spouses or maybe girlfriends or boyfriends, and there were platforms to even facilitate that. Online dating, you can actually date another person, and the platform will deliver certain food items, or maybe wine to the other person, or maybe gift items. So you are sitting far away or in front of two computers, but it will feel like exactly you are dating, right? So food services, there are things like cloud kitchens, virtual wine tasting. I mean, pretty interesting things. You can actually do most of the physical activities that you do virtually, and there are platforms which can facilitate that, which can provide the logistics. I mean, they can actually deliver physical stuff to you as well. Very interesting. Sorry. So I have 3 more slides, 1 video and 2 more slides, then I'm done.
In the Intelligent World 2030, digital government adapts to people's livelihoods. A dynamic and multi-dimensional labor force, blending human insight with robotics, AI, and more, becomes a key factor in production. People's focus shifts beyond material wealth, and digital means achieve digital equity and fairness, as well as taking control of the metabolism, the very health of the earth. New connectivity, new computing, new platform, new ecosystem. These build the foundation of the Intelligent World 2030. New connectivity, 5G-based communications technologies enable ubiquitous connectivity and all-domain perception. New computing, from silicon computing intelligence. New platform, the ongoing accumulation of industry experience into a converged digital platform, which can be inherited, ultimately enabling digital innovation in all industries. New ecosystem. The SAPO-based collaborative ecosystem provides more comprehensive customer-oriented commercial solutions. Welcome to the Intelligent World 2030. Intelligent, green, and resolutely people-oriented.
Okay. last two slides. And will these changes last? Of course. I mean, these changes are going to be there. I mean, there's no turning back, and the world is going to thrive with these changes, and we will see more and more technologies coming up, more and more ways of doing things digitally. And as Sri Lanka things would look like magic to us even, right? So I mean, they are so advanced that we can't even believe those things are happening around us. But so we are isolated. I mean, Sri Lanka is isolated. I mean, we are still talking about traditional things, or traditional ways of doing things. We are not being innovative. We do not adapt these global changes. I mean, we don't have to be a rich country to adopt all these things. We can start small. I mean, now Sri Lanka is in a very bad state. Right? The only way out of this situation is to go through a complete digital transformation process. I mean, it will save cost, it will create value, and it will achieve transparency, it will eliminate corruption, right? And it will help both government and non-governmental organizations. And we don't have any other way to get out of this situation, right? And the only way to get out of the situation is to use technology, strategy, a vision, and a good mission. And we should have a national policy. And it's sad to see that that is, I mean, like, it's still not there. It's sad to see that. But as individuals and as people who work with customers, so if you're coming from an individual organization, then you need to initiate this process within your organizations. But if you are coming from an organization where you consult customers or maybe sell solutions to customers, then you need to help them to completely digitally transform. I mean, if they actually need it, I mean, you don't have to do that to everyone, but if they need it, you have to do it, because that will save cost, that will optimize process, and that will create value. That is the only way out of this situation. So we have to start small. I mean, we don't have to think that it will involve a lot of money, and we have to start small and get things done. Okay. So that is where we need to go. And if you need any kind of information on that, or if you need any help with that, you can reach to me on LinkedIn, or maybe email, or maybe reach our organization as well, Just in Time Group, and we are there to help you in any way that we can. Right. So the final slide. I just wanted to summarize everything that I spoke about. So you can see technology at the bottom layer. There are a lot of technologies that you can choose from. Then the other layer, you need to be customer centric. You need to think from a customer perspective, and you need to create value for the customer. Then you have to create business expectations. I mean, how you are going to create value. So business expectations can be delegated into different departments as well, but you have to set the business expectations right. And there are two other aspects, competition and innovation. The competition is getting increased day by day. The competition is getting intensified, and also innovations, technologies, and other stuff are very disruptive. So you need to introduce something to the market which is disruptive. Otherwise, you can't survive. I mean, you have to have at least one disruptive thing in the market. That's how you are getting differentiated with your competition. So these things you have to think of when it comes to creating a good strategy for digital transformation. Right. Okay. It took exactly 1 hour and 45 minutes. I hope the session was informative. I could not go into a lot of details in certain slides because the time was not enough, but you can actually go through it when you get the recording. And thank you very much, elearning.lk, for hosting us for this event. And as I mentioned earlier, please go to their website, elearning.lk, if you need to get any kind of corporate workshop or corporate seminar or session or consultancy done. And they are very helpful as well. And thank you very much, elearning.lk. And thank you all for being here for almost 2 hours. And I hope you were able to get something out of this session. And if you need to know anything else, please contact me in any way that you can, maybe LinkedIn or maybe email or mobile, or I don't know, any way that you can. Thank you very much, guys. And I hope you will have a great day ahead and enjoy the weekend, have a party, and go to some place where you enjoy. And thank you very much. Cheers, guys. Bye.